guys. How are you all? Thank you guys for being here. Nothing just like makes my day better than coming in and seeing all of you wonderful people in the chat. And the only thing I want to say before we get started is just thank you for loving and supporting me and being here for me. I appreciate it so much. And I'm ready to get back to true crime. So I'm really excited for this live. But first, let me say thank you, Mayla's mom, for gifting 5 memberships, and Nurse Kristen. That is freaking sweet, you guys. Thank you. And then I think I got a couple milestones. Yes, Music City Mom, thank you for being a member for 8 months. Brandy Wine and True Crime, a member for 8 months. Cutie Pie, a member for 6 months. Thank you, guys. I'm so glad you found me, too. How are you guys? Hey, Lenny. Hey, Ashley. I'm doing pretty good. Hey, Neat Noodle. Hey, Unseen. Nana. Hey, Crime Story Diva. Hey, Solo Sock. Lynn. Hey, B Crumbs. Preschool Granny. Natasha. Brandy Wine, which I said, well, I didn't really say hello. I just read your member milestone. So hello, Brandy. Hey, Teacup. Good to see you. Hello, Pointer Lover. Punksy Scout. Unseen. Destined, let's see, Adrian, Kathy, other Kathy. We have a few Kathys, actually. Becky, Lexi, Texie, Stacy P. Thank you guys for being here. Sparkles, Butterfly Kisses. Hey, Rexy. Hey, Kate. Hey, that Kels. Okay, so you guys know we've been talking about going back over the trial since we have the jail files and the calls and stuff for a long time. But I really didn't have like a direction specifically I wanted to go. And one of you guys, and forgive me because I don't remember who, because my brain has been my head's been spinning. But one of you guys had mentioned Dakota's testimony, Leticia's brother, and how he talks about her stepfather passing away and being hit by a car. Well, then I started thinking about everything that came out of the case file from those messages that she sent to her work. And then also on one of these jail calls, she calls the tip line about somebody being hit by a car. So I thought today we could re-listen to Dakota's testimony. And it is about like maybe an hour long, a little less than an hour, actually maybe 50 minutes. We could re-listen to that, which will be good for many reasons besides this, just because we're trying to review the trial and pick out things we hadn't noticed before, but also tie it together with the jail files and the case files, and just kind of see where we go from there. And I'll also play that call at the end that she made to the tip line. No, Natasha, I didn't see your milestone. Let me see. Peppermint Tea, I see yours. Thank you for being a member. 6 months. Punksy, welcome. Thank you for joining. Natasha, it didn't save for me. Usually it's like automatically saves the milestones. I didn't see it. I'm so sorry. Hey, Amanda Love. Hey, Queen Olive. Hello, Miss Melissa Jade, JC. So many amazing people in here. You guys, it is no secret that things have been quite chaotic lately. And honestly, I don't want to get into it at all. I want us to do what I came here for. I have a big purpose for my channel. I've told you guys that before. But it means so much to me. You guys have just been really kind, really wonderful, really supportive. I couldn't ask for a better community. And honestly, you guys are so much smarter and you have more knowledge on many of the things we talk about than I do. You guys are what makes this place. I can't get over how many truly beautifully on the inside, on the outside too, but how beautiful and intelligent, like the people in here, the degrees that you guys have, I can't get over it. It's such a special place. And thank you guys again. Thank you so much for all the love and support, because it means so much to me. It really does. Hey, Tess. Hey, Leslie. Hey, Harlot. Okay, Kate, thank you for joining again. Thank you rejoining. Hey, Kimberly. Good afternoon. So I think what we're going to do is I've pulled everything out that we need. Oh, actually, I wanted to show you guys a little something first. Just a quick, and it didn't save. It just was a little case that I wanted to bring to your attention. Well, part of it saved. So this person linked their post in a group chat for another case. And they have a GoFundMe and some stuff like that. What I'm going to do actually, instead of reading it out here and trying to go through it here, after this live, I'm going to make a post with the pictures and the story they've included, because I just wanted to try to share. It's another domestic violence situation gone bad. I have not seen the case anywhere, and I just wanted to try to share that and pass it along to you guys. So first, let me pull up these files. Solo sock. There's a bunch of those in my house for sure. Let's see. Okay. I actually have in my notes the page number this was taken from, but I'm not going to even go grab that. We're just going to read through some of these things that were taken from the case file. Brandy, hello, Allie. They do not even deserve your attention or concern. You're so above that and a beautiful person inside and out. Thank you, Brandy. I appreciate that. Hey, Linda. I mean it. You guys have you're just incredible. Thank you, Rexy. Okay, so this came out of the case file, which was one of the first things we ever purchased together. If you guys remember, I had came on and said that we were talking about getting this, and we were going to as soon as we had the money, and you guys just started sending money to get it. I mean, again, you guys are just so supportive and amazing. And this was the first thing we all kind of bought together. Okay. Says this one, there's a few pages we're going to look at throughout here. This one says on January 29th, 2020, hold on. I actually do want to get the page number for this because I do believe I have it just for if you guys want to go back. Okay, it's on page 116. Yeah, 116. This was taken from page 116 in the case file. On January 29, 2020, at approximately 1:33 p.m., I, Commander Andy James, received an email from School District 20 Executive Director of Security and Transportation, Brian Grady. Attached to this email were text messages from Leticia to Leslie Hicks, who is the assistant principal and supervisor of Leticia Stauch. The emails were sent from Leticia to Leslie on January 27th at 3 a.m. The emails state in part that she would not be coming into work because, quote, my stepfather passed away. Someone hit him with a car while he was walking. These items were placed into evidence by Detective Marissa Williams. All right, let's go to our next one. And this comes from page 194. This is where they talk. Now, they talked about this in court, you guys. I know you remember the text that Leticia was also sending in the middle of the night to call in and then also into that morning. So Leslie Hicks, the assistant principal of Mountain Ridge Middle School. The text messages had the following content. So at 3 a.m., Tisha says, I'm sorry for the time of night message, but my stepfather passed away. Someone hit him with a car while he was walking. I can update you at a later time. Sad face. She writes again at 4:37 a.m. I'm sorry for the time of night message, but my stepfather passed away. Someone hit him with a car while he was walking. I can update you at a later time. Another sad face. So just the same message resent because she didn't get a response, I guess. Tisha, Leslie's in bed, okay? Leslie wakes up at 5:49 and says, oh my goodness, Tisha, I'm so sorry. Shall we try to find a sub for you today? Then at 7:21 a.m., Tisha says, wait, hold on. Tisha, question mark. It's apparent. All my family lives on the East Coast. I'm trying to find a way to get there. 7:21. It's like Tisha just was offended that she said, shall we try to find a sub for you today? She's like, what? It's my parent. I'm trying to find a way to get out on the East Coast. Then Leslie responds, okay, I am just trying to understand your plan so we can find coverage. Am I understanding that you will not be in today? Tisha responds, yes, it's my parent. I can't believe that would not be an assumption in a time like this. Leslie said, I am so sorry for your loss and we will support you, but I cannot make assumptions. I do need some direction from you. We will get a sub today. Please let us know what else you need moving forward. This officer who wrote up the report claims that they called Leslie and the only prior contact she says the only prior contact she had with Leticia was via text at the same phone number. Okay, so that's all there is about that. This stepfather being hit by a car. Let's continue. I think I have a couple more. Here is just in the text, in the extraction report of the text, exactly the message she sent. And then, I don't know why I would have put that in there again. This is also about the school, which is interesting, but it's not part of today's live. But I still think that it's interesting. This is when Al emails a teacher, Caitlin Caller, and says, I'll go ahead and read you it just because I find it interesting, these little extra parts. And, I know we've actually read through all of this, but putting it together with the trial footage, I think brings another perspective. Plus I pick out things I didn't know before or didn't see before. So Al, let's see. Al says, Caitlin, I am so sorry to bother you, but I'm in Oklahoma for Army training and Gannon is missing. I don't know where else to go for info. He had mentioned a friend named Blank that he had wanted to play with is all the info I have. They ride the same bus, so he lives close. He has never done anything like this, so I'm terrified of what is going on. My wife is home trying to find him. I don't want to alarm you, but I don't know where else to turn. My wife's number is, if you know how, we maybe can find out where this kid lives. And the teacher responds, I'm so sorry to hear this. I've not heard any information, but we'll contact you ASAP. Are you aware he was absent from school today as well? Did your wife see him this morning? And then Al responds, yes, he has stomach problems. He had some issues with that today. They still can't find him. It just hurts to even read this because I know you guys know, but just being so terrified, not being there, knowing that, you're not close enough to do anything and having to reach out to other people like this from a distance when your loved one is missing. And he straight up says he's terrified. It's just, I don't know. Hey, Pinchy Becky, we got a couple new ones today. I wonder how many schools she applied to compared to the ones that took an interview. It'd be interesting to know. And Destin said, I'd be mortified if this POS worked at my child's school. Yeah. Same. But we hear stories all the time of these teachers, that do ridiculous stuff. It's just unfortunate because you have to send your kids to school and they need to go. They need to learn. And socializing is good. Some people homeschool, and I don't have a problem with that at all. But if you do send them, it sucks to not have full trust in them. Mayla's mom, I always forget to change it too. Let's see. I was trying to find Brooke's comment that B. Crumbs was responding to. I cannot find it. But yes, we are supposed to be getting some new calls and stuff like that pretty soon and some videos. Okay, so now I'm going to pull up Dakota's. We're going to rewatch his testimony. Let me know if anything stands out to you that didn't the first time. And then after that, we're going to go into this call that we got that was made in December, Tisha to the tip line, also about someone being hit by a car. It's just interesting because this has been brought up other times too. If you remember in one of her versions of events of what happened with Gannon, there was someone laying in the middle of the road. Like there's just, it's weird the way that she repeats these little details, little parts of her lives, of her story. And it's kind of interesting to try to put it all together. Okay, so let me get the video. And we're going to watch it from 9 News just because it was the first place I found it from. Hold on. I actually have it past where he testifies. He's in the first 50 minutes. Oh God, this is heartbreaking, you guys. Remember, so just you might need some tissues. We're gonna try to, we'll chat along the way, but I'll try not to interrupt it too much, unless I have something just unbelievably profound to say. Oh, Kate, thank you. It is really sweet, Kate. Thank you. Oh, Amanda Tuttle, welcome and thank you for joining. Salmonella, thank you for being a member. 11 months, I stick with truth. And Alex, oh, I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Dakota made me cry so bad. I know. Hey, Claudia. Hello, Shar. Happy to see your pretty little face. Okay. Let's go.
All right, Mr. Lowry, if you would step forward and raise your right hand, please, sir. A little farther forward.
Just go right in the middle of the court.
All right. You swear affirm the testimony about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Go ahead and have a seat in the witness stand. Please watch your step as you step into the stand.
Me too, Andrea. I hope we find out. Hey, Carrie Beth.
Good morning.
Morning.
Could you introduce yourself to the jury and spell your first and last name?
Dakota Lowry, DAKOTALOWRY.
And where do you
Tony.
live?
Hey, Grateful Mama.
Wilmington, North Carolina.
Did you just fly in yesterday?
Yes, sir.
And what is your relationship with Leticia Stauch?
That's my sister.
Pretty tough for you being here right now?
Yes, sir.
Hang in there.
Okay, look, I have not listened to this since it happened. But already, just like my gut and my heart, I just feel for him so much. You can hear it in his voice. This is not easy for him to do. He goes into that some, if you guys remember, he goes into, how this is hard, almost embarrassing, like a stain on the family. Also, he explains how he believed Tisha and she was being set up. So I think this is going to be just really cool for us to go back and hear again. I have not done it. Have you guys re-listened to his testimony since it originally came out? And if you have, put it in the chat because I'm curious.
They're all right.
Why, Tisha?
Oh my God.
Mr. Lowry, do you need a moment?
Take a break for a moment. Ladies and
Oh
gentlemen,
my
we're gonna
God.
come back in the back of the jury room for a few minutes. All up for the jury, please.
It is the most emotional testimony. Oh my God. Teacup, honestly, I've known that before, but I don't know off the top of my head how old he is. I know that I've known before. I don't know. He's quite a bit younger than her. And I think they reference that at some point here about his upbringing, how it was different from hers and they weren't young together.
Should reflect the jury has left the courtroom. Mr. Lowry, you going to be okay? Need a few minutes?
Yes, I just want to get this over with.
Here's the way that the
Oh,
process works,
Chrissy.
is that I understand that you want to get it done. I understand that. But we have to have the jury in here, and you're going to be subject to questioning by the prosecution and then by your sister's attorneys. Do you understand all that? Okay. Just do the best that you can. Just take a breath. Do you need some water or anything like that?
Yeah.
There's some water right there if you want
Thank
some.
you, Tess.
Or you can
There
pour
you
it into
go,
that
babe.
cup there. So everybody's a little nervous when they're on a witness stand.
I know,
Take a
Tiff.
deep breath.
Hey, by the way, babe, good to see you.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It happens. It's an emotional case. I get that. But you just have to do the best that you can to get through the testimony, okay?
And with the court's permission, can I just ask some follow-up questions? Mr. Lowry, I know this is very difficult for you, okay? But I really want you to focus on me, and I know your wife's here as well. And I'm just going to ask you some questions and we'll get through this, okay? But it's important that you got to kind of keep your cool.
Okay.
All right. Can you do that?
I'm trying my best. I can't make no promises, but I try my best.
And I appreciate that. I know it's difficult for you here, but we'll get through this, okay? And if you need a break, just let us know.
Pinche, I believe
If
so.
you feel something coming up or you want to have an outburst.
Okay, so I don't want to interrupt. I know that gets annoying. I'm going to try to let it play a couple minutes at a time, but I just want to say a couple things really quickly. I do believe this is the first time he had seen her since he heard what happened. I think that, let's see. Destin said, imagine how Dakota felt the day Gannon was found. And I cannot imagine it. And I'm glad that we're doing this again because I feel like I may notice things I didn't before or hear things I didn't before. She's stone faced. Yeah. Lenny says, I pray he makes good decisions and has a lot of people who love him. Me too. Tiff, I agree, babe. Okay. All right. So now I promise I'm going to mute and let this play. And then I also promise I am not going to keep it muted and try to talk to you. Okay. That's the goal. Okay.
Do the best you can and let us know, and perhaps the court, we can take another break, okay? Is that fair?
Okay. All right. All right, let's go ahead and bring the jury back in. We have the other camera. All rise for the jury, please. All right, thank you. You may all be seated. Record should reflect the jury has returned to the courtroom. Mr. Young?
Thank you, Mr. Lowry, this is your first time being in the courtroom ever, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And you're probably extremely nervous.
Yes, sir.
And we're gonna get through this, okay? I'm just gonna ask you some questions and we're gonna have a conversation. Is that all right with you?
Yes, sir.
Could you let the jury know about your other family members, other brothers and sisters, your parents, that kind of thing?
I got another sister. Her name's Julie. I got a sister named Amy. My mom, Deborah. I mean, that's pretty much.
And then
I
it
got my nieces, all my nieces.
What's your niece's name? Do you remember?
Got Harley, Jazz, Kanae, Cash, Maya, Jada.
Okay, so just to pause because I think I have a tidbit of information that wasn't known at this time, but we hear in one of the jail calls, Neat Noodle says, I don't think anyone from her family was there. Remember, we hear in the jail calls, Aunt Brenda tells her that she wasn't allowed to come. And we do hear later from Josh Tellini that that was not true. But just don't forget that. Hello, Amber Love Rains. Good to see you, babe. Pinche Becky. Well, that's okay. Just make sure you're up. I'll give some out to you guys in just a minute once I get outside. Okay.
Is Deborah your mother?
That's my mom. Yeah.
And for the most part, did your family grow up in North Carolina, where you're from, Lumberton, and some still living out there?
Yeah.
And you mentioned that Leticia Stauch is your sister,
Yes, sir.
and you see her in the courtroom today?
Yes, sir.
Could you point her out, describe what she's wearing?
A green sweater.
And when was the last time you saw her?
When we came down here in 2020.
So January 2020?
Yes, sir.
And so I want to talk about that a little bit. When you said you came out here, who came out here?
Me, my mom, and my Aunt Brenda.
And what's Brenda's last name?
Akron,
What's your mom's last name?
Locklear.
Why'd you come out here?
We come out here to help support Tisha because we felt like she was being wrongly accused for something that she would never do.
And so I'm sorry, go
We-
ahead.
We also want to come out here and help look for him.
We come out here to support Tisha because we felt she was being wrongly accused of something she would never do. Then he adds in, we also were going to help look for him. But at the time, Tisha had her family convinced that she was being blamed for something she hadn't done at all. And they truly believed it. And I'm going to let him tell that. But I just find that crazy. Thank you, Mayla's mom, for getting another one, by the way. I tried to put it in chat. I had all kinds of typos, but I'm also going to give some right now. I just had to pull it up on the computer. Hey, Trulia. Hey, Mandy girl.
Yeah.
Go ahead and take a deep breath, all right? You let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
So you wanted to come out and help. You refer to her as Tisha,
Mhm.
and you also wanted to look for Gannon.
Yes, sir.
So do you remember when you came out?
January 31st, I think. 30th. It was late January. It was about to be February because my mom's birthday was that weekend or something, that next week.
And why particularly did you come out?
Because I knew my mom was going to come out here.
To support your mom?
Yes, sir.
Now, was it January 30th of 2020 when you all flew out here?
I believe it.
Where did you fly to? Do you remember?
Denver.
You got to Denver, what did you do?
Went looking for Harley.
Rent a car?
Yeah, we rented the car from the airport.
Did your Aunt Brenda Awkward rent the car?
Yes, sir.
And did she pay for you all to come out here?
Yes, sir.
And
Mr. Lowry, you're kind of soft-spoken at times. Could you put the microphone a little bit closer to you so the jurors can hear you a little better? Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
so when you get to Denver, your aunt rents a car. What was the game plan? What were you gonna do?
To get Tisha and Harley, at least two around us.
And did they know you all were coming out?
Yeah.
And so, do you recall renting a Nissan Altima?
I think so.
You drive down to Colorado Springs, I assume?
Yeah.
Who was driving? Do you remember? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Aunt Brenda.
And so what happens when you get to Colorado Springs? Where do you go?
Like a shopping center. 'Cause where we found them at.
Were you guys talking to him on your way down?
Yeah, when we was looking for them.
And so would this be a shopping center kind of on the north side of town next to a Marshall's department store?
There was a Marshall's there.
And did they tell you why they were, or let me ask you this, did the defendant, Tisha, tell you why they were at the Marshall store?
Mm. She didn't why. Not that I can remember.
Did she tell you whether or not she had an interaction with some
Yes.
police officers?
Yes, sir.
And you have to kind of wait till I finish asking.
Now, remember the interaction at Marshall's where she throws the keys and all that kind of stuff? That is what they're talking about there. And I just wanted to say, oh, there it is. Hello to you, David, as you came in. I didn't want to miss saying hello to you. Thank you for being here. Okay. This brings back memories of the trial and every day being astonished. Al's calls, Dakota's grief, Harley's pain, Dr. L's craziness, goes on and on how tragic this was. Kathy, that is so true. So people walked away from this scarred. Um, okay. Hey, Skylab. Uh-oh, I froze for a moment. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Tiff, I appreciate you and I love you so much, and I always got your back too. Let me know if we have any issues, you guys. I'm going to go ahead and keep playing. But if like the sound goes funky or something, let me know.
Because just typing everything down we say, okay? So what did she tell you happened prior to you getting there?
That the laws had thrown her down and detained her.
Say anything about Harley?
Yes, Harley. They said also Harley.
That upset you?
Yes, it did.
So where did you go after you went to this Marshall's parking lot area to pick them up?
On a hotel.
And do you remember the name of the hotel?
That's part of the reason they thought Tisha was a victim of being framed, because she, like he said, she tells them she was detained, Harley was, and wrongfully detained and all this stuff. She certainly doesn't tell the truth of what happened. And look at her over here. Let me just point out, can't even look straight ahead, hand over her face, looking down. Okay. I see. Let's see. It looks like Landon right there, but I don't know. I could be wrong because it's a little blurry for me. But okay, let's keep going.
No.
Does the extended suites sound
Yeah,
familiar?
extended suites.
So what happened when you got to the extended suites?
That was when they was discussing wanting to get their stuff back, like get their belongings.
And who was discussing that?
Tisha.
Once you picked up the defendant and her daughter Harley, who was kind of calling the shots as to what you were going to do and where you're going to go and things like that?
I don't really know.
Well,
I'm type like I said, I'm the type of person like just stand in the corner and wait until they just tell me what they want to do.
you're just there to help.
I'm just there.
So how many rooms did you get in at the extended suites?
I can't remember.
Did you night there that night? Do you remember who was in your room?
No, my mom was. I believe Aunt Brenda was with us.
Her mom certainly showed up to help her.
I can't remember if we had just one room with rooms.
Okay. Well, was Harley and your defendant in the room with you?
We was around each other most of the time, like all of us together most of the time.
Okay. So you mentioned earlier that the defendant was wanting to get her stuff back. What did you do the next morning to do?
We rented a van.
And who rented the van?
Aunt Brenda.
So Brenda Awkward rents, what kind of van did she rent?
Like a cargo van, I guess you would say.
And so all of you go to rent the van?
I don't know if all of us went or not. I believe we did.
So it's you, your mother, Deborah, Brenda Awkward, Harley, and Leticia.
Gravy, thank you so much for becoming a member. I appreciate that so much. And Cutie Pie says, imagine if she would have testified. I remember thinking about that the whole time we were watching. And remember, Lori Vallow was happening at the same time. And at one point, Lori, they acted like she may actually testify. So it's just interesting. I wish that she would have, but.
Where do you go?
I know at one point she tried to go to the police station and get her pocketbook and stuff like that.
Tell the jury about that. Where exactly did she go? And I don't know Carl Springs or so she's going to the police department. Actually, go to the police department.
Yeah, we went to the police department.
And she go in, try to get her belongings back. That
Yeah, she did.
you know whether or not she got those
But
items?
I can't remember.
So where do you go from the police department?
I think that's when we went to their house to get their clothes and stuff.
So this would have been January 31st now, 2020,
I believe so.
that's the next morning.
That Friday.
So what happens when you get to her house?
We just started loading up the clothes and stuff out of the house.
Were there police officers there?
Yes, sir.
What's officers doing?
They taking everything we brought out,
How are they checking it?
like looking in the bags and I guess just making sure that everyone's supposed to be there.
And how do you feel about being at the residence that morning?
Just aggravated.
Why were you aggravated?
'Cause I felt like we was getting looked at as criminals.
Is that because they were looking at your sister as a criminal?
No, they was looking at our whole family. It wasn't just her.
And
Wow.
so what kind of things did you guys get out of the house? Do you remember?
Suitcases, clothes, that's all I can remember.
Was it all the Harley's clothes and all of your sister's clothes?
Yes, sir.
What was your plan? I mean, where were you going to
They
make
got-
these clothes?
They got their dog.
And go with all the clothes and things. No?
When she was ready to leave. She was ready to leave.
And did she tell you she was ready to leave too?
I thought it was South Carolina.
And is that where she moved from, South Carolina?
I don't think that's where she moved to Colorado from.
Tess, do you mean when you're arrested? She says, kind of dumb question. I wondered, does law enforcement take all your money in this scenario, so you're stuck without a phone and money? Which scenario do you mean? Man, let me know if you guys can't hear me. It looks like I got completely booted. I apologize, you guys, but I did save our spot. I have a feeling one of these children upstairs are doing something they're not supposed to be on the internet right now. So I'm going to address that once we get back to listening. I even had comments that I was trying to put in the chat that it wasn't letting me post. Tess says, like, when you're questioned by law enforcement, but they let you go. Yeah, then you get your stuff back. Now, if you get arrested, they're supposed to put your stuff in your property. However, cash money can be, I don't know, I've heard all sorts of things. And I think it also depends on, look, not all, in every profession, there are good and bad, so there's going to be people that are going to take advantage in situations when they can. Hey, that Ellen. You can tell he is one of our family members who can't be sucked into the drama, Teacup says. Okay, Let's keep listening.
That's what I thought.
Is that what she told you?
That's what I can.
So how long did it take to load up all her and Harley's things into this cargo van?
I can't remember, over an hour, I guess.
What happens after you get the van loaded?
Leave and go back to the room.
Remember whether or not your sister had an interview with a reporter?
Oh, yeah, yes, yeah.
Tell me about that. How'd that come about?
I don't know how that happened. I just know she just had an interview with me.
And did she tell you why? I mean, was anybody talking to her about doing this? Or?
I wasn't. I mean,
So if you're arrested, or I'm sorry, if you're not arrested and they let you go, but remember that interview I transcribed with Landon, she had stuff on her phone and she left her phone there so they could get it off. If you won't give them their phone and they want it, they'll just get a warrant and then they'll keep it and extract whatever they want off of it. So you can willingly let them keep it like Landon did. You can make them get a warrant. But yeah, that kind of thing. Okay. Apparently no children are downloading games or anything. I don't know if I'm buying that, but we're going to keep listening. Julian, just make sure that you're gifted in or opted in. There should be a little, when you click on like the little $sign in the membership part, there should be somewhere there you can opt in. Or if you scroll back in the chat when someone gifted, there used to be like a little thing right above that would say click to opt in. I don't know if that's still there because they change it so much.
I wasn't.
Whose idea was it to have a interview with a news reporter?
I don't know.
Foundation. Sustained. Jury will disregard the answer.
So when you went to the house, I'm assuming you went in the cargo van, did you also take the Nissan Altima that was,
Yeah, the Nissan was with us.
who was driving which vehicle?
I think I was driving the van, and I think Brenda was on the Nissan.
And what vehicle was your sister? Vehicle was your sister and the defendant? Remember?
No. I don't remember.
You know, we'll go on to that. So she does an interview with a news reporter. What do you do after that?
I just know we leave. I don't remember where we went.
Did you eventually go back to,
We went, yeah.
do you remember about the time of day it was?
No.
Go back to the hotel room, and what do you do when you get back to Elba?
I know we mentioned something about wanting to go look for him. Because me and my mama, we wanted to look for him.
Tell us about that conversation.
Well, wanted to go. She said she would get with Albert, find out like when they're going to go out and look for him again or whatever. But we wanted to go, but at the same time, we kind of didn't because we didn't feel like we was getting treated right down here.
Does that happen at the house earlier?
Yeah.
When you first got to Colorado, did you have conversations with your sister about, hey, we got to go out and look for Gannon. We got to go search for him?
We asked if they had any idea where he was at and stuff. I mean, it's about all we asked her.
And did you all search for Gannon?
No, we didn't.
Did she ever say, hey, we got to go look for Gannon?
I mean, she told us that we could. That's all she told us. Like she said, we'd get up with Al and talk to him about it.
She never did.
Yeah, because she knew where he
When
was
you get
at.
back to the hotel room back on January 31st of 2020, did the defendant leave you all and go somewhere by herself?
Yes.
Overruled.
Did she tell you where she was going?
Go get some dog food for their dogs.
Now remember this.
Do you know what vehicle she took?
The Nissan.
The Ultima? And how long was she gone?
Oh, wow.
Hour?
I can't remember that. I just know she was gone longer than what I expected.
Was it 2 hours?
I don't think.
You remember sitting around the hotel room wondering where she's at and when she's getting back, that kind of thing?
Well, I did get on the phone with my wife, and I did tell my wife I feel like she's just been gone too long.
Always found that very interesting, especially with the things that were found, on the set where the board was found and all of that stuff. Becky says, I'm learning so much in my harm reduction specialist class about safely using drugs should be certified in 5 weeks. Why I'm so I remember you telling us when you were starting that. Show me, yes, we will, but not today because I want to grab some other little things to put with that, some new things, as we review hers. Okay. We're about halfway through.
Because
his.
she was gone for a long time. I can't remember how long she was gone, but I didn't expect her to take that long. But then Pony was like, well, maybe she's just trying to take her a minute by herself. So
Did anyone try to call her and say, hey, where are you? What's going on here?
no, not that I can remember.
Does she eventually come back?
Yeah.
Tell us about that. What happens with that?
I don't know. She came back and she was normal to me.
Did she have any dog food or any items for the dog?
She came back with some stuff. Something I can't remember.
So earlier you mentioned that
Hey, Mrs.
she wanted to go back to
Elite.
South Carolina. What was the plan with the cargo van? Was she going to take the cargo van that Brenda Awkward rented to go back to South Carolina?
I don't know if she was going to take that one because Aunt Brenda wouldn't. I doubt Aunt Brenda was going to let her. I believe Aunt Brenda told her she had to get another van.
And so the next morning, we're now on February 1st, 2020. Did you help her get a new van?
Yes, sir.
Tell the jury about that. What did you and your sister do to get a new van?
We went and drove to the budget place. We got another van. And we got the van. We unloaded all the stuff from out of the van into another van, into the other van.
Which would be the one that ultimately
So was that
went to
in
Florida.
your hours?
I believe so.
Do you know about what time it was? Is that the first of the first?
I remember.
So when you get to the budget area, did you know that you were going to transfer things from one van to another when you got there?
Yeah.
Did you talk about that on the way to the budget rental van?
Yeah.
I remember this part.
So talk to the jury about that. How did you guys go about doing that, moving the items from one van to another?
We just moved around to the side of the budget place, and we just backed the vans up and just swapped them out.
During that process, did you see the defendant with a rather large suitcase?
Hold on, you guys. Let me just check something. I don't know exactly what. Let me look at the transcript because I cannot remember. Oh, yeah. I forgot I added this extension. Let's see. We're at 26:23. If I open the transcript, oh, it's going to go all the way down to 26:23. Let's see. You guys, I don't think can see this because I'm just sharing the tab. Hold on. We're almost to the part about her struggling with that. I just saw that, but let me just go right back and read why Aunt Brenda wanted her to go get another one. They didn't go in. So he just asked, did you help her get a new van? Yes, sir. Tell the jury about that. And he says, what? Wait, tell the jury about that. What did you and your sister do? I don't think that it said. Just said that Aunt Brenda's not in the transcript. I don't think that his accent is making it very clear. Could also pull it right here. Okay, no. So the plan, you had mentioned earlier she wanted to go back to South Carolina. What was the plan with the cargo van? She was going to take the cargo van that Brenda rented to go back to South Carolina. And then he says, no, I doubted Aunt Brenda was going to let her. I believe Aunt Brenda told her she had to get another van. Here, I'm going to go right back to that part just because it's only about 2 minutes behind, and this way we don't miss anything. Okay.
Did she have any dog food or any items for the dogs?
She had some. She came back with some stuff like she bought something, but I can't remember.
So earlier you had mentioned that she wanted to go back to South Carolina. What was the plan with the cargo van? Was she going to take the cargo van that Brenda Awkward rented to go back to South Carolina?
I don't know if she was going to take that one because Aunt Brenda wouldn't. I doubt Aunt Brenda was going to let her. I believe Aunt Brenda told her she had to get another van.
And so next morning, we're now on February 1st, 2020.
Yeah, so they don't go into why.
Did you help her get a new van?
Yes,
Butterfly
sir.
kisses. I
Tell
hope,
the jury
hope
about
everything
that.
works out,
What did
babe.
you and your sister do to get a new van?
We went and drove to the budget place. We got another van. And we got the van. We unloaded all the stuff from out of the van into another van, into the other van.
So was that in the early morning hours?
I believe so.
Do you know about what time it was? Is that the first thing you did on February 1st?
I can't remember.
So when you get to the budget area, did you know that you were going to transfer things from one van to another when you got there?
Yeah.
So did you talk about that on the way to the budget rental van?
Yeah.
So talk to the jury about that. How did you guys go about doing that, moving the items from one van to another?
We just went around to the side of the budget place, and we just backed the vans up and just swapped them out.
Hey,
During
Gemini.
that process, did you see the defendant with a rather large suitcase?
Yes, sir. I seen her with a lot of suitcases. Well,
Mm-hmm.
there was a lot of suitcases on there.
Was there one that kind of stood out to you?
Yes, sir.
Tell the jury about that. Why did it stand out to
Hey,
you?
Alpha.
Because it looked like she was struggling with it.
You offer to help her?
Yep.
What'd she say?
She didn't need help.
One of the suitcases in particular stood out to him because looked like Tisha was struggling with it. He offered to help her. She wouldn't let him.
Did you ask her what's in the suitcase?
Yep.
What'd she say?
It was softball stuff.
Aww. South Carolina, Megan.
Why'd you ask her what's in the suitcase?
I don't know, Teacup.
She
Good
didn't feel
question.
right about it.
What about that suitcase didn't make her
Hold
feel
on.
right? Ask her what's in the suitcase.
didn't feel right about it.
What about that suitcase didn't make you feel right?
I just felt like it was too heavy for her.
And at this time, I'd like to publish People's Exhibit 48. It's already been admitted into evidence.
Go ahead.
You recognize that suitcase we see on the TV screen?
Yep.
How do you recognize that suitcase?
Yes, Mrs. Italy.
Look, it's an old suitcase.
It was the first thing.
I remember that suitcase looked old, and it's green.
Is that the suitcase you saw your sister putting into the budget van?
Oh, thank you, Mandy. Glad
Yep.
you're here.
Is that the suitcase you asked her about what's in it?
Yep.
Is that the suitcase you didn't feel right about?
Yep.
Is that the suitcase she told you softball equipment?
Yep.
Thank you. Take that down. So what happens after you get everything loaded into the budget van from your aunt's rental van?
At that point, we was ready to go home.
And did you drive Brenda Awkward's van back? And did Miss Stauch, your sister, drive the budget van?
I can't remember if we turned that van in there at that place or if we had to turn it in somewhere else. But I mean, I had to drive one of them because it was just me and her.
So do you eventually turn back? It's an enterprise van, right? Is that where you rented the van that Brenda Awkward
I
rented?
think, yeah.
Did you take that van back?
Yeah, we took it back. I think we took it back later on that day.
And did you take the Nissan Altima back to Denver to catch your flight?
Yep.
What did the
Yeah, of
defendant
course,
tell you where she
butterfly
was going?
kisses.
I don't think I can remember. I don't remember. The only thing I can remember is her saying something about going back to Myrtle Beach.
And did she leave with Harley?
Yeah, her and Harley lived.
Did they leave from the hotel?
I can't remember where we split up at. I can't remember where we.
Or did your sister have to go back to the hotel to pick up Harley?
Yep. I think so.
And is that the last time you saw your sister until today?
Yep.
How much older is your sister than you?
14 years.
You known her your whole life?
Yeah.
Can you give the jury an idea about the family background? How often would you see her as you were growing up, that kind of
She
thing?
come to like holidays, came around on holidays.
Where would you guys, North Carolina?
But she did come down here or go down there, or we might have went to the beach and seen her.
No, Carol, Aunt Brenda was not there.
Had you gone to Myrtle Beach on a few occasions to
Yeah,
hang out with Harley?
yeah, me and her. I used to go down there and stay with them. We'd go to the water park, stuff like that on the weekends.
You let the jury know who your father is?
James Lowry.
Okay, so this is where we're going to get into some about her stepfather. I just wanted to say, Molly, I don't think I did receive the email because I usually respond even if it's just a quick response. But when I switched devices, the iPhone didn't have the Gmail app and it just did things differently and I missed a bunch. But I have downloaded the Gmail app onto my iPhone now to make it easier to search because I couldn't even figure out how to like keyword search my inbox or anything. So after this live, I will go look to see if I can find it. And if you want, you can always just like resend it, forward it to put it at the top, but also now I can keyword search. So, and then Lynn, all right, babe, thank you for being here. It is heartbreaking, Music City Mom. Okay, so now we're going to get into about his dad. I'm going to rewind it to there and I'm going to mute so you can really hear.
Where would you guys meet? North Carolina?
She'd either come down here or go down there, or we might have went to the beach and seen her.
Had you gone to Myrtle Beach on a few occasions to
Yeah,
hang out with Harley?
yeah, me and her. I used to go down there and stay with them. We'd go to the water park, stuff like that on the weekends.
Can you let the jury know who your father is?
James Lowry.
And would that have been your sister's stepfather?
Yes, sir.
Is your dad still alive?
No, sir.
You know when he died?
7th birthday, 2004.
You know the circumstances on how he died?
Got hit by a car.
Was he walking out in the street? And
I don't know if he was. I don't think he was on the street. I think he was on the side of the road.
On his 7th birthday. I didn't hear that the first time. On his birthday. I mean, hit by a car though. Remember what she said to people the morning when she called into work, and just keep it all in mind when we replay this call she put into the tip line. But Tisha is interesting, and I think like studying her brain so closely like we have, or her, not necessarily her brain, but her choices, her actions, and that kind of stuff. You see themes. There will be like, you'll hear the same thing in many different ways, and you can almost pinpoint where she got these little things, like the vampire stuff, that just so many things you can see. I guess repetitive themes is how I should say it, where these certain things come up over and over, and sometimes in slightly different ways, but it is interesting. Okay. Yeah, Christina. Yep.
do you know anything about the relationship between your father and your sister, Leticia Stauch?
No, sir.
Had your sister ever told you anything unusual between their relationship between your father and her?
No, sir.
If there had been something unusual, do you think you would have heard about it?
Objection, foundation. Overruled.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Why is that?
Cause pretty sure my mom would have said something.
And your mother, Deborah, was she, well, what kind of mom was she?
She was a great mom to me.
There you go, Dakota.
What do you say to me?
I appreciate that. She was a great mom to me. And he's going to ask him why he said it like that, and I'm going to let him tell you. I'm not going to tell you, but I appreciated that. Let me just try to get back to the beginning of his little statement.
Your mother, Deborah, was she?
Oh, Riddler, thank
kind of mom was
you.
She was a great mom.
And thank
to
you,
me.
Riddler, for everything.
What do you say to me?
I'm just saying that I had no problem with my mama.
Was she very protective?
I think none of us should have a problem with my mama.
Hey, Cosmic.
Was she very protective of the kids,
Yes, sir.
including Miss Stauch?
Yes, sir.
Look at Tisha down there in the corner, just glaring.
On these occasions that you spent with your sister, did you have an opportunity to see her interact with other people and make decisions and go through everyday life?
Yeah.
Had you ever known her to have a serious mental illness?
I know. The only thing we always said she probably had was that she was OCD. That was it.
Is that obsessive compulsive disorder?
Well, we used it as excessive cleaning disorder. Like she had to keep stuff clean.
That's fair. Mr. Lowry, just talk about what you think as opposed to what all of you thought. So if you think it, it's fine. And just say, this is what I thought based on your context with
It
her.
is short.
Okay. Mr. Young?
You understand that? I mean, you good with that?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So you mentioned that she had OCD. Why do you say that?
She like to keep stuff in a particular spot. She like to keep everything clean.
But when you're around her, would you make sure that things remain clean? Because she may want to,
Yep,
might say something to you.
yep.
Was she the same with Harley?
She was the same with everybody like that, as far as I know.
Anything unusual about that?
No, that's normal to me.
You know other people like that?
No,
Had you ever known her to use different names or identify herself by a different name?
I can't remember.
Do you ever remember her referring to herself as a person named Harmony?
I do know she didn't like her name, but I don't remember her calling herself Harmony.
Did she tell you why she didn't like her name?
No,
Do you ever remember her calling herself Jasmine?
no.
And you said you had a niece named Jasmine or Jazz?
Jaslyn,
Sorry.
Jaslyn.
And are you familiar whether or not your sister liked Disney movies?
I believe she did.
And are you familiar with the movie Aladdin?
Yeah,
You familiar with a character named Jasmine in that movie?
yes, sir.
Who's Jasmine in that movie?
The princess.
Do you ever remember her talking in a Spanish accent?
No,
You ever seen her in a stressful situation?
no.
How about when you came to Colorado?
Yeah, yeah.
During the entire time you're in Colorado with her, had you ever seen her speak in a Spanish accent?
No,
Have you ever heard her refer to herself as Maria?
no,
Does Maria mean anything to you? That name?
no.
You have an opinion as to whether or not your sister has the capacity to know right from wrong.
Thought she did.
Why do you say that?
She's too smart.
Was your sister a really good athlete as well?
Yes, sir.
What kind of sports did she play?
Softball, basketball, baseball.
Was she more of a leader than a follower?
That's what I thought.
Never see her drive a vehicle, for instance.
Yes, sir.
Did she have the ability to stop at red lights, go when it turns green, that kind of thing?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever seen her, have you witnessed her obey the law?
Yes, sir.
And is that throughout your entire life?
Yep.
And is that for even when you were in Colorado?
I mean, we didn't ride with her. She didn't really drive around with us, but I mean, she acted funny the whole time we was down here, to be honest.
Tell us about that. Why was she acting funny?
She was, seemed like she was stressed out about everything that was going on, looking over her shoulders. But I figured that was because of the laws was constantly coming after her.
Looking over her shoulder. He thought because she's being blamed and it wasn't her. Debbie, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for being here. And Riddler, thank you. I appreciate that so much. And I just want to say thank you. You are just a stand-up man, and I appreciate you more than you know. I want to say thank you to all of you guys. And yeah, it's no issues with the links at all. No worries. It's just from now on, I just told them the other day that I'm gonna drop the channel links. Everybody can drop like the other things, just because I want to be careful. But I didn't see, Christine, the question, but I will look. Okay. All right, let's keep listening. Thank you again, Riddler.
You alluded to this earlier, but she had just been in handcuffs prior to you guys picking her up, right?
Yep.
And do you think that may have caused her to be a little bit paranoid about police following her and things
Yep.
like that? What about her capacity to do things intentionally, perform intentional acts? Let's talk about the budget rental van. Did you see anything unusual about her ability to rent another van to go to South Carolina?
No.
Does she have the capacity to intend to do things?
Yeah.
Does she have the capacity to make decisions and use judgment and reflection in making those decisions?
Yeah.
What did you think when you heard that she pled not guilty by reason of insanity?
I believe that was the only way she did it.
I believe that was the only way she did it. And I think we have only about 10 minutes left, including cross, if I remember correctly. I went and tried to pull it a couple of days ago when we were first going to do this. I believe that was the only way she did it. Her own family, yeah, she might have her issues, but they were shocked. Even Landon, if you remember in her interview, she thought that Tisha was part of it. However, she never thought that she was capable of the evil that she is. Well, all of my comments deleted. All the comments are gone. I cannot see you guys at all. Let's see. Okay, they're back. Okay, let's keep listening.
At that time,
Did what?
what we're here for.
A moment, Your Honor.
You may.
Those are my questions, Your Honor. Thank you.
Cross-examination, Mr. Polina.
Mr. Lowry,
Morning.
I know this is difficult.
Now,
We've met before,
hold on.
correct? Remember I came when I saw you and your mom and everything out in North Carolina?
Oh, so I didn't even think, I guess I didn't hear that the first time, or it didn't stand out to me. But he came to North Carolina and met Tisha's mom, the mom that was never a mom and all the things, who actually went out to Colorado to help her bring her stuff back home. But anyways, I think it's really unfair to even put the narrative out that anything about her mom, because we don't know. And all we know is from Tisha. And the one thing we know about her is she likes to lie, like a lot. Now, this is about 10 minutes, if I remember correctly, because I did not rewatch it when I went to see how long it was. I just skimmed through and grabbed the timestamps. This gets a little uncomfortable because he tries to make the point that Dakota is ashamed and that this has put a bad mark on his family's name. Oh my God, I hope I'm not muted. Whew, okay. I couldn't see the screen for a second. I was on the other screen. I was like, oh my God, did I unmute? Anyways, so just be prepared. This is going to get a little uncomfortable for just a second.
I want to go back just to the attorney's last question. You indicated she must have been when she did this. And what your meaning is, the Leticia that the only way she could have done something so horrible is she has some type of mental break.
when everything first happened, and we found out that the little boy was found in the body, we found out where he was found. At that point, I knew she did it because when I seen that suitcase and asked her about it, she just acted funny to me. And yeah, I thought she might have snapped and went crazy.
Okay.
But now, no.
Hmm.
No.
Okay. And talk Lumberton, you're from
So when I met you before, yeah, I thought she might have snapped and went crazy. Now, no. I don't think that's that. I just think that it's so interesting the stand that he's taken. He's really strong. I know this was not easy for him. He'll probably never see this, but if you ever do, so many people are so proud of you, and all of us have bad apples in our families. That's just the truth. I guarantee you that everybody in this chat has somebody in their family that you're like, oh, you know, might embarrass you a little bit or something. You know what I mean? So I just want to say that I feel for him so much, and I'm really thankful that he came and testified. I know that Will's going to make the point that he had to. I still don't think it was easy, and he was very. I think he stood strong in what he believed.
Lumberton, North Carolina.
And I
correct?
think that took some bravery.
Yep.
And that's kind of a small, how big of Lumberton?
It's not that big.
A pretty small community.
Yeah.
And this case has got a national exposure.
Yep.
And it's got even more kind of exposure, in Lumberton. Lumberton
Yep.
press is, picked up and followed this case pretty closely.
Yep.
And over the 3 years since this has happened, this has caused a lot of shame to come upon you and your family.
And what are you
Yep.
insinuating?
It makes you feel like your own town, kind of like an outcast.
Yep.
Like everybody's looking
Yes,
and judging.
Christine.
Yep.
Like everybody's looking and judging your mom.
Yep.
And this is all your stepsister's fault.
She's not my stepsister.
You have different fathers, correct?
I mean, I don't consider that.
That's a half sister. Come on, bro. Come on. Talini, you know better. You should know better.
Okay. This is all your half sister's fault.
Yes.
Kathy.
And you're angry at her for it.
Yep.
When you were out in Colorado during this time, she was acting different than normal.
Yes, she was.
She was pacing up and down. She seemed highly paranoid.
Yep.
Your mother was concerned for her mental health.
Yep.
Did your mom, Brenda, and you all fly back together?
Yeah, me and my mom and Aunt Brenda.
Okay. And you flew out of DIA?
Yeah.
Did you call her during that time in Colorado that you were with her being paranoid and believing there's a black BMW that was following her?
Yeah, she did do that.
Go back. You're actually named after your father? Middle name?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And my grandpa.
Okay. And Ms. Stauch was 16 when she moved out, correct?
I believe.
Okay. So she's 14 years older than you. That would mean you're only 2 years old when she moved out of the house.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So you never had any active memories of her with James or how James treated her.
No, sir.
And you said that she would come home from time to time, but she never came back to North Carolina, never came back to Lumberton to see you guys until after James died.
My dad, I can't remember.
Okay. You indicated, let's go. I mean, I'm going to get into this. And I know you might not like it, but your dad, James
Here we
Lowry, did
go.
have a drinking problem.
Yes, he did, as far as I know.
You would get drunk and you'd beat the piss out of your mom.
Yeah, as far as I know, yep.
Sometimes it'd be so bad that your mom would have to take all you kids to a hotel room till he sobered up.
Yep.
What is the absolute point of doing this to this young man on the stand? I'm sorry, I get he's doing his job, but I understand Leticia's claims of DID come from trauma that happened. I felt like I don't like this. I don't like this. It makes me angry. It makes me start to get like furious inside. And yeah, I just don't like it at all. Oh, Amanda, yay. I'm glad that you got one. All right, but let's listen. I just hate it, and I hate it for him. I think it's unfair. I understand he's doing his job. You know, he's trying to make points, but
Sometimes your mom would have to go to work and James be the one watching after you kids. Correct?
Yep.
One time, James gave you so much alcohol that you passed out. Well, they went up the,
Overruled.
one time James gave you so much alcohol that you passed out.
Yep.
And you were under, so if you passed when you were 7, you would have had been, what, 4, 5, or 6?
When you asked
You
that,
passed out. Remember how old you were?
I was like 3.
Okay. You indicated that, I think you said before, that she would sometimes freak out if something was out of place.
Yep.
Stauch. And also, do you recall that sometimes when Miss Stauch would come visit you or see you, sometimes she would leave you knives so you'd be able to protect yourself?
Yep, she did do that.
No further questions?
Great.
Yes, Sheriff, thanks. Tell us a little bit more about your dad. Was he in the armed forces?
Yep.
1 second, this is almost through, and we're going to get to the next thing I want to show you. But I just want to say, Lucia, thank you for being a member for 7 months. So listen, I'm not defending that biatch in any way, but it is possible her stepdad did this to her and her brother didn't know. My baby brother has no idea. His dad passed, and I see no need to ruin his memories of him. I agree with you. He's quite a bit younger too. So, hey, Jordan. Heather says, I hope Dakota is doing okay today. I hope he finds peace and knows that helping her move his body was not his fault. Well, I don't think she accepted the help, right? That's the way I heard it, but I agree with you.
What branch?
Air Force.
And did he go to war?
I believe he did.
And did that create problems for him?
Yep.
Tell the jury about that. What changed with your dad when he got back from war?
All I know is my mom always told me when he stepped off that plane,
Hold on. Come on. Yeah, sustained. You can talk about what you observed. You can't talk
Hearsay.
about what somebody else told
Yeah.
you. Okay.
I mean, I can't really talk about him because I was
Okay.
3 when they separated. I was 7 when he died.
That's all right.
Okay. That's okay. It's all right.
Now, earlier we talked about your mom being protective of the kids. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
If something was going on with your dad and the kids, what would your mom do?
She don't play about her kids. Something went on between. I don't know how she did Daddy, but I know if something went on between her and like her ex-boyfriends or whatever, and they wanted to come to us or say something to us, she didn't play about us. She protected us.
She protected you kids? Did she protect herself?
Yep.
Did you ever see her hit your dad?
I don't remember hitting on. I don't remember. I can't remember much of my daddy because I was so young. But I know her boyfriend after my daddy, Greg, he would hit on her, and she would fight him back.
Did you want to be here today to testify?
Nope.
Did you get subpoenaed and that's why you came out here?
Yep.
Mr. Tellini was asking you questions about insanity or some kind of mental break. And you said initially that's what you thought, but then you said now, no. What did you mean?
I just feel like it's too much got done for you to be saying that now. For her to be saying that.
Well, do you think when she was telling you that there's softball equipment in the suitcase, she knew right from wrong, and she had the capacity to form the intent to do things?
Yep.
Overruled.
Those are my questions, Jar. Thanks.
Do any of the jurors have any questions for Mr. Lowry? Like we have one. Counsel, retrieve that question and approach, please.
What did you guys think about the jury, the way they let the jury ask questions in this way? I don't see that always happening, particularly just like this. Hey, KPM. Good to see you. The feral monster tried to tie Dakota to this in her interview with Torres. I do too, Mayla's mom.
Mr. Lowry, do you remember where the green suitcase was retrieved from when you were getting the defendant's belongings at the house?
No.
I will allow reasonable follow-up as to that question only. Prosecution.
When was the first time you saw that green suitcase?
When we was switching the vans.
Did you ever see it come out of the house when you guys were moving things out of the house into the first van?
No. Not that I can remember.
Thanks, Jeff.
Defense? All right. Thank you, Mr. Lowry. You may step down. Just watch your step.
Okay. Heather, I don't right now, but I'm trying to think of an option because we do have our Patreon group chat, but I want to move that somewhere else. So if I can successfully do that and then have that chat maybe on a server somewhere with another chat. I don't know. I'm working on some things and I'll definitely let you guys know. Okay, so let me just pull something from an overlay really quick. Maybe. Okay, now after we heard all of that, I want to go back. We were reviewing his entire testimony. However, there were specific parts that I pointed out in the beginning through those jail files about someone being hit by a car. And I think that we should go back and re-listen to Tisha calling the tip line about a similar type of incident. Okay. It's not that long of a call. So I'm not going to pause it. I'm not going to pause and interrupt it all. We'll just play it and then regroup.
Investigation team. Please be specific. Please speak clearly and slowly. You do not have to leave your name. Record your message at the tone. When you are finished, hang up or press pound for more options.
They're looking for the other person from the truck. 26-year-old male. You know where he was left at? He was left, the 26-year-old male, he was left on that county over Douglas County. He was left there side the road because he shouldn't be a chomo, and we don't do sexual predators or chomos. And when people sexually assault and harass you, and that's what you do. And he got run over by a car, and his body is still sitting there because he shouldn't hurt us. And you don't know where he's at, but you saw him get out of the truck, but you don't know where he went. You know his name? Yeah, he's Hispanic. He's 26 years old. And I'm pretty sure you'll be able to find him because he shouldn't hurt people. He shouldn't be a chomo. You know how they sing that song? Touching them boys, fooling them girls. He shouldn't be doing that. And you know what else? He shouldn't be trying to assault people on the highway and open their truck and get in, trying to lay down in the road. He shouldn't do that because that's why you run over him. Because he wasn't going to hurt me or us anymore. He wasn't going to. And you know what else? And the other person too, he was run over too. But he was already dead, but he came back alive and he got ran over too. But then the second time was a 26-year-old male who was trying to hurt us, who was trying to take our property, who was trying to fake pretend he was a stranded bystander or motorist and he wants to get in the car. And no, he did that. He got in. But you know what? He was ran over because he was not going to hurt us. Do you understand that? So you can go look for him, 26-year-old male. Well, I'm ranging at 26 because that's what he said, but it could be one of his identities. And that's where he's at, Douglas County. Because we will get rid of any of the chomos, any of the sex predators, any of the people who harass and molest children and women. We will get rid of them forever.
Wow. Okay. So JC has a comment. I want to address that in a second, but let me just say, first of all, remember, Leticia knows that she has to pull this off, that it's this story or she thinks she has to pull this off, this insanity, right? This plea of insanity. And dissociative identity disorder, there is an element, well, they say that it stems from some sort of childhood trauma, right? And your brain protects you from what you're going through, so you create other identities, and then so you don't necessarily remember all of the trauma. I think that what she's trying to do there is link together this car accident, why she messaged that as her excuse that morning. She's trying to make it look like she had a spell, in my opinion. She used that as her excuse when she messaged into work. Then this call happens, right? We already know in trial what she said and who she was hurt by and what kind of caused this to her. So it's just putting the pieces together of how she thinks this story is going to make sense. It's just absolutely ridiculous. It is a call of your nightmares. It is not the only time she called the tip line either. She also called in August. If you guys remember when we went through the jail file, the case file, I showed that to you guys, and I can always pull it up on another day. But today was just specifically about Dakota's testimony, his dad, Tisha's calls, and also how in the file, like how it all kind of connects. But JC makes a comment that is so interesting because I do not remember this. She says, "I'm back. Remember the jail call when Leticia said the person who hit him was in jail with her?" I noticed that I don't pick everything up if I only listen once. So I don't even remember that. But I would love to try to go back and find that. Okay. Why bring up past misery? She's not coming out of there alive. Forget her. January, honey, we have been doing a deep dive into the case files and jail files of this inmate. We're going to talk about it. We've all, including the chatters, put a ton of time and effort learning about things that were never released publicly or in the trial that we've gotten from these documents and calls. And I personally feel like if that's not something that you want to watch, then I probably wouldn't come to a live about it. We do all kinds of other stuff too. So I think she hit her stepfather. I've wondered that myself, Aaliyah. She was talking about the angel character. It was around the early calls. Maybe I can find it. Thank you, JC, though. Hey, Emma D. I think she was highly medicated when she made this call. It was everyone's fault but hers. Identity, she probably thought it was a chain of restaurants. Sounds like she's blaming the toilet talker. It is ridiculous. It is crazy, though, to just like try to tie everything together, connecting the dots. Anyways, that's all. We want more tidbits of Tisha with a banjo noise. Is that not what narcissist people do? Well, we know that the I don't know exactly what you're referring to me, which part that I was saying, but we know that the people who did the psychological exams on her found her to have traits, narcissistic traits, and stuff like that. So let me see. You guys have to admit we couldn't make this shit up. That is so true. Tamsin says, yeah, I finally caught a live. I can never find your videos to watch on replay. Are they hidden somehow? No, they are not. So, I think if you go to my channel and press the live tab, you should be able to scroll just forever and ever. I do have a jail files playlist on Tisha. And this is a new playlist that I've started. This is episode 2 of like this trial rewind, connecting it to the jail files. It's just not something that we're going to cover every day. So maybe like once a week we'll do an episode or something like that. It stands for Child Mo. I'm not going to I don't want Google to flag me. So I'll just say that. Face it, way more stepdads do this type of crime. But anyways, okay. So no one's attacking you. I'm just simply saying that it doesn't make sense to go to a live with the title about something you don't want to watch anymore. I wouldn't do that. That's all. Just a little common sense. But anyways, you guys, I'm so glad that we got to hang out and go through some more of this. I've missed you guys. Yeah, and I just appreciate you so much. I appreciate you being here. I can't wait until we get to see some of these video visits and the other things that are coming. And also, my next live is probably going to be about the Adam Montgomery upcoming trial. I found a call between Kayla and Adam's dad that I wanted to show, and all the interviews with Harmony's mom, who was one of the first people ringing alarm bells that she was missing. I've tried to organize, now not all of them because there are a lot. She's been on tons of different little YouTube channels and things like that. But I tried to organize several of them in order from when they happened. So I think it'll be fun to go through that. Oh, man. Yeah, I've missed you guys. Thank you, Carol. All right, you guys. So I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much for being here, Lowry. I will drop the links one more time at the end of some of the people you guys have seen here in chat today. If you're interested, go check them out. They're not all channels. Some of them are businesses, just all kinds of different things. But yeah, and thank you guys for being here. I just love and appreciate you so much. Know that if you ever need to reach out to me, you can always reach out to me on the email at the bottom of the screen or the Facebook Messenger account. And yeah, I hope you guys have a lovely day, and I'll see you soon, okay? Bye. No, I'm going to drop yours too, Christine. Maybe somebody else can, before I say bye, I better do it. Maybe somebody else can do the, do I have Patreon as a command? I don't know. I don't think so. Sorry, guys. I usually try to mute before I cough. Bye, Stevie's mom. Bye, you guys. Thank you all. Thank you, Nana. Thank you, Mayla's mom. Thank you to the mods. Punksy, you have a great day too. Punksy. Oh, Miss Melissa in here. Hey, S. Hockett. I'm going to drop Bendy's, of course. She's not here, but she's done this project with us a lot, and I think I just wanted to drop that. Let me think. Hit Punksy. Yes. Nay and Lori. And then I'm going to let you guys go. But yeah, all right, you guys. Thank you so much for everything. I will talk to you soon. Okay, have a great day. Bye.